On this bumpy beer tasting from Jack's Abbey Brewing Company, I believe it is. They're out of Framingham, Massachusetts. I have their coffee bourbon barrel aged Framinghammer. So I just did the regular Framinghammer last week. That one's a 10%, the Baltic porter, so it is a lager. Same with this one, it's a lager, but it's a Framinghammer that's been aged in bourbon barrels with coffee. It says the IBUs on here in the original gravity in Plato. The IBUs are 45, the original gravity in Plato is 23. Doesn't give you like what the final gravity would be in Plato, so without actually knowing that, you wouldn't really be able to decipher what the actual ABV is on this. And I went on their website, and they do not even list the ABV on their website. The regular one is 10% ABV, and on Beer Advocate, they do list this as being 10% on Beer Advocate. But yeah, it's a little troublesome. The own brewery doesn't even list the ABV of the beer that they have out. So, anyways, I have not had this one before. I'm not a huge coffee fan, but I did want to try some of the barrel-aged versions of the regular Framinghammer. So here we are. Let's go ahead and crack this open. Throw a little bumpy tasting. Price of this one bottle was $10.99, so it was the same price for this one bottle as it was for a 4-pack of the regular Framinghammer. The head on this thing is very tight, kind of mocha colored head. The body itself kind of gets some caramel reddish hues through the bottom, so it's like a very dark brown color. The aromas, I'm already getting tons of chocolate, like lots of chocolate just kind of floating around here. All right. So yeah, big chocolate presence. I am getting a lot of like a bourbon barrel note in there. Some kind of like dark fruit or coffee type notes. Fresh, oh there we go, some ground coffee. It's popped up in that whiff. Yeah, and coming right back around again to that bourbon type note, a little bit of that oakiness, vanilla type smells that you get out of bourbon barrels. Smells fantastic. Let's go ahead and pour the first swig. Cheers. So this one is pretty big on coffee. Lots of coffee come through. It's kind of has the flavor of the aromas of like ground coffee, like fresh ground coffee type flavors. A little bit of that bourbon in the flavor as well. Tad bit of chocolate, like the chocolate and the aroma was showing up like this was going to be a big chocolatey drink. The coffee is totally taking over. There is actually a bittering coffee effect afterwards, but there is that, like, just underneath that there is a tail and a layer of like a chocolate type note, kind of the mid-range to sweeter type chocolate. A little bit of a like dark fruit type note in there, so kind of going into like maybe prune type, like a dried dark fruit Very, very slight. I guess it kind of goes with the coffee a little bit. This one's very big on coffee. I do notice a little bit of a burn in the chest. It's very, very slight. The alcohol presence in the flavor, there is a small amount of it. Kind of goes along with the bourbon type notes. Mouthfeel in this. It's got a bit of a smoothness. Feels like about a medium body, and there's a decent carbonation level to it. Overall, I like this one a little bit more than the regular Framinghammer, but I'm not a huge coffee fan either. So, I mean, I'm going to say it's a very good Baltic porter that's been barrel aged with coffee. It's just like the coffee notes to me are just kind of a bit too much, and it's not that kind of sweet coffee. It doesn't really go super into like the straight up black coffee. It's just got like the fresh ground type coffee flavors in there. Like I said, kind of more like what the aromas would smell like is kind of what the taste is with the coffee. So yeah, a very good Baltic porter from Jack's Abbey. Their coffee bourbon barrel aged Framinghammer. So just want to say thank you all for watching and cheers.